Thank you very much, Dan. Yep, it is victory for Arsenal at Anfield on penalties, but albeit a victory all the same. Adrian Clarke is with me to discuss. I mean, penalties are always nail-biting, I guess, but, you know, when you're on the right side of a victory, they're always sweet as well.
Yeah, Arsenal should have had a penalty in injury time, in my opinion. James Milner wins the tackle, but then falls on the ball, and it's a clear handball, and it hits him a couple of times there. Yeah, and I just think that if VAR was in use tonight, 100% gets given. You know, it's a bit unfortunate, Milner, but it would have been a penalty, and we probably would have won it there and then. So I'm pleased, but on the balance of the full 90 minutes, I think Liverpool will feel a touch hard done by. They were the better side, I thought, for long periods. They certainly had more shots on target, and look, but for Bernd Leno, Arsenal will be out of the Carabao Cup tonight. Bernd Leno has been the hero in the 90 minutes and in the shootout. And if he does not get man of the match from the sponsors, the TV, from everyone that writes about this game, it's an absolute travesty.
Well, he's getting man of the match from you, I'm guessing. So that's done. But what was interesting for me, actually, was seeing the celebrations at full time there. You know, these players, this match, in what is meant to be, you know, in the grand scheme of things, you know, on social media and, you know, what you see in the papers, is a cup competition that's not necessarily that revered and that important. But these players and this manager, they want to go all the way.
Well, you only get one career, Nick. It's as simple as that. And a lot of players, how long do they spend at a club like Arsenal that's really got a great chance of winning cup competitions, the FA Cup, the League Cup, you know, European trophies, etc. You know, the average lifespan of 5-6 years, 7 if you're lucky. So you don't get that many cracks at it. And for that reason, I always think that the players themselves always take it very seriously. It's just that the managers have to juggle. They have a few things to decide politically. Who do I play? Who needs a game, etc. So they have to. It's hard for the coaches, but for the players, they will always care about the cups, because playing in a final, a showpiece, is one of the highlights of anyone's career. So no, all the guys will be looking forward to December, picking up in this competition again, and hopefully reaching Wembley again, because we know what happens at Wembley. Arsenal normally win, not always, but normally do.
Second home these days, you know what I mean? It'd be lovely. And just to pick up on what Dan was saying there about Bernd Leno, you've already said, you know, man of the match for you, but I think we discussed it previously. You know, do you think there was a little bit of pressure coming into this season after what Emi Martinez did, and, you know, how much he was loved by the fans? And, you know, I don't want to say people forgot how good Bernd Leno was for us before he got injured, but they kind of didn't they, you know?
Definitely. Yeah, no, I agree. There was huge pressure on Bernd Leno. It would have been worse for him had Emi stayed and he'd been on the bench, because then I think every match would be really scrutinised. And as soon as he made a mistake, there'd be an outpouring of people saying, change the keeper. He doesn't have that pressure now. He's just got the pressure that he puts on himself to regain the form he had before the injury. I thought he wasn't brilliant against Liverpool on Monday night. He wasn't completely dominant. But prior to that, this season, he's been fine. And tonight he was sensational. So, yeah, for me, Bernd Leno, in the eyes of Arteta, was always the better keeper. And that's the reason he's here and Emi's at Villa.
Yeah, load of good saves tonight as well. Anyway, let's get into the first thing that we've learned from tonight's performance then. And it is this. I feel Pepe's physicality is quite poor, but you could see a level of effort this evening, something that Mikel Arteta is clearly demanding from him. Leno, fantastic between the sticks, really kept us in the tie. Gabriel looking assured in possession too. Just a lack of creative spark still. That's an observation, I guess, not the first thing that we've learned.
Yeah, no, we've not learned too much there. But JM's observations are pretty good. I would say that Leno was fantastic. Gabriel was assured. I thought Gabriel was another big plus for us tonight. Didn't have loads to do. It wasn't as if Liverpool, you know, troubled him or our centre halves that much during the game. But everything he did, he looked fairly calm with and strong. A couple of times he bundled Mo Salah off the ball, which I thought was good to see. You know, throwing his weight around in a sensible manner. Pepe wasn't great tonight, I didn't think. And I don't know whether it's a physicality issue with him. I just felt tonight that he wasn't that comfy on the left. And another issue I have with Pepe is his balance, actually. He's got great balance when he's dribbling and beating players. but he often loses his balance as well, particularly when he's about to strike a shot. And I think that's something he really needs to work on. He needs to plant his feet and really put his weight behind those shots. Too many of his efforts are missing the target because he's taking them on when his body's not set.
Yeah, he scored a good penalty though.
Very good, Ben.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, no, I've got no issue with Pepe on penalties. I tell you what, there's no calmer penalty taker than Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
Oh,
in world football, is there? I mean, goodness me. I mean, it was a walk, wasn't it? Really, the run up. It was crazy. It was crazy, and then he just waited for Adrian and just chipped it down the middle. I like watching Ainsley take pens.
Same here. I absolutely love the way Ainsley do not change until you miss it, and then obviously the backlash will be absolutely outrageous.
Yeah, when you miss it, do a proper run up. Yeah.
Halfway line. Right. Someone else who's getting a lot of love out there at the moment is one of our new centre backs, Gabriel. Walid says Gabriel is so good, man. He's been really vocal throughout the game and constantly reads out the danger. Harry says Gabriel playing with real confidence, strong, fast and powerful. I hope it continues. And also Paul saying best compliment I can pay Gabriel is I forgot Salah was playing until he was subbed. Yeah, he had a good game tonight. And what's interesting about Gabriel is obviously, we all knew that Saliba was coming in because we signed him last year and obviously went back out on loan. There was all this talk about William Saliba and what he's going to do for the defence and he's going to revolutionise us. But it's actually Gabriel who's come in. And granted, we haven't seen Saliba yet. So let's just say that. But Gabriel's come in and he's doing the business.
Well, I think he's looked really good so far. Yeah, I thought, barring that one mistake at Fulham inside 2 minutes on debut, he's been very, very good, impressive. All of those things that the people said on Twitter: fast, powerful, athletic, calm as well. He's strong in the tackle. He tends to win those duels. He knocks people off balance. He's a muscular type of defender, and I think we've missed that since Lauren Koscielny left us. So yeah, no, it's been a good start for him. I was surprised he didn't play on Monday night. I would have picked him, and I think that looking at how he performed tonight, I think it'd be very hard to leave him out of games moving forward. For me, he would be the number one pick, Gabriel at centre half, and then you've got to decide who you play alongside him. It might depend on the system, of course, but in my view, tonight in a back four, two centre backs, Holding and Gabriel were fine, and I would have no problem if they started at the weekend. Saliba, we just got to wait. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I can only assume that he's not impressed as much as we'd hoped in training and in the practice games that they had, because I would have expected him to have had a run out so far. So look, I hope he gets a chance, and I'm sure that when he does get a chance, he'll show us what he's about. But it does feel as if Saliba's going to have to be patient.
And we've still got Pablo Mari to come back from injury as well. So, it could all be changed. It could be all change in our defence.
On Mari, I think, based on everything I've seen of all of our centre-halves, Gabriel would play and Mari would play. I think that they would be my two in a back four. I think in the back three, David Luiz comes into the equation, as does Kieran Tierney. But yeah, Gabriel, I was impressed by what I saw of Mari before he got injured.
Yeah, again, a small sample size for Pablo Mari because he got injured quite quickly. So, but it's exciting, I'm looking forward to seeing what the new look defence can do when they're all back and they're all firing and they're all fit. Right, I did jump the gun earlier with the things that we learned from tonight's performance, but now we are ready for the first thing that we have learned from tonight's performance, and it's this: our second string is the strongest it has been in years. We've been talking about this, and you have online, of course. Dave says Arsenal might not have the best squad in the league by any stretch, but one thing they've got is the ability to hold their own against teams now and battle for each other. Haven't had that for at least over a decade, so fair play to Arteta. Yeah, we've touched on this on the show, haven't we, Adrian? Our second string players, a lot of them, they get into our Premier League side, might not be for the full 90 minutes, but they're in and out, and a lot more than, some of these Liverpool youngsters, for example.
Yeah, there's no unknowns really in the Arsenal team these days, or the second string team. It's really experienced, and that's a definite plus. Yeah, I can't remember having a backup 11 that was as experienced as we've currently got. I do think we've seen better performances. I do think we've seen more cohesion. I still didn't think it was a great display tonight. It was a bit messy at times, quite bitty. And yes, defensively, better tactical structure, fine. We're staying in games better than we have done in recent years as well. But on the ball, I expect more. I really do. And I think a lot of fans expect more from this team. We're good enough to keep the ball against anyone, in my opinion, and play in the opposition half and build up triangles and 2s and 3s and overlaps and things like that. And that wasn't really in evidence this evening. So that is an area we 100% need to work on. I'm hoping that that's the next part of Arteta's grand plan, because he certainly made us more solid, and that had to be the initial priority.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that wholeheartedly. You know, we want to see this team dictating and, you know, having some control in the middle of the park. It feels like, especially in these last couple of games, and it could be skewed because obviously we're playing against a top quality side in Liverpool, even their second stringers. But, you know, we're kind of relying on, you know, balls over the top or breaks or, you know, a mistake, as opposed to creating our own opportunities for intricate
And it puts
passing.
too much pressure on the strikers, because there are so few opportunities to score that when those chances are spurned, we all highlight them. We all fixate on them more than if we'd have created double the opportunities. So we've got good finishers. I've got no doubt about that. But right now, we're not a creative team, and that is the next step on this team's journey. Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. Let's have a look at the second thing that we've learned from tonight's performance then. And it is about this man. Bernd Leno continues to prove why he is number one. Lots of love for Bernd Leno on social media as well. Adam says Leno showing exactly why Arteta put his trust in him. He has been fantastic tonight. So many saves to keep us in the game. #Arsenal. And we've got one here saying, can we put the Martinez-Leno debate to bed now? Great keeper. We're fortunate to have him. And there we go. There's the
Liverpool shots on target.
Yeah.
Well, these are the shots on target. Yeah. So, and he's kept a clean sheet. Yeah, 3 of them were from distance, but a couple of them were absolutely world class. I thought the one from Van Dijk, low to his right-hand side, was just sensational. Absolute game changer, that one. And then just a few minutes later, he tipped one over. Now, Emi Martinez, much taller keeper, would have probably made it look easier, but it was a real test for Leno to spring up at the right time to make the stop. I thought he did amazingly to pull that one out of the hat as well. So yeah, it was Leno's night. 2 great saves in the shootout as well. It wasn't as if they were woeful penalties that he stopped. So yeah, Bernd Leno. There's no need to mention Emi Martinez really anymore. He's our keeper. He's going to be our number one all season. And do you know what? I'm pretty sure he's going to be in the shake-up for Player of the Year again. I'll be very surprised if he's not in the top 3.
Yeah, unbelievable game tonight. And like I said earlier, I feel like, and myself, I'm putting myself in this as well, by the way, Arsenal fans, you know, we can be guilty of forgetting just how good he was before he got injured, because Emi came in and did really, really well. But Bernd Leno, make no mistake, like Adrian says, a top quality keeper. And I'm sure we're going to see plenty more saves and performances like tonight from Bernd Leno. Right, let's have a look at the third thing that we have taken from tonight's game then. And it's this. Adrian used to take penalties like this. I didn't even know that one was coming. They kept us in the dark with what the third thing was.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Well, only in warm-ups, I'm afraid. Yeah, look, I love taking penalties. My dad was really good at Rabonas, and he taught me when I was a kid quite early. And I got good at them. And I just used to sort of try and wind keepers up by spanking them into the corner, into the top corner from 12 yards. But yeah, in my career, I never had the bottle to do it in a game. And I'm kicking myself. I really am, because you only have one shot, don't you? One career. And I let it pass me by without doing the Rabona. But at the time, I have to say, not that many players did them. But these days, they're very fashionable, and it's Curtis Jones tried it tonight from across, and it was pretty good. I love to see them.
Was that kind of like a semi pun there as well? Because you kind of have to kick yourself to do a Rabona. So
Almost, I didn't mean it. No, I can't take credit for that one, I'm afraid. But yeah, look, we must be short on things we've learned tonight, if you included that. But I like it.
That should have been number one for me. Listen, that was fantastic stuff. Right, Adrian, thank you very much for your company. company this evening and your expertise, of course. If you enjoyed what you've seen, we do this every match day on Arsenal.com. And the next one, got it written down here, is on Sunday. It's a 2:00 kickoff. So if you log on to Arsenal.com around 1:30, you can see all the build-up to our match against Sheffield United at the Emirates. Arsenal.com. We'll see you there. Take care.